Do you feel the pressure to grow your business, but doing so feels a bit like drowning? Welcome to Slow Growth Business, the show for business owners and leaders to quiet the noise and lead your business to success, one day at a time, slow and steady. If you feel your business is running you and you're ready to run it, you've come to the right place. Now, here are your hosts, business coaches Jimmy DeGroat and me, Kyle Bullock.
You know the subject, folks, because you've seen it on the YouTube channel or the podcast. But Kyle does not know the subject of today's podcast. So, in the words, by the way, please subscribe. Please subscribe. We're starting to get more subscribers because those who listen aren't always subscribed. So just if you subscribe, it's going to start showing up in your feed. You're going to get notices, and thank you for that. So, okay, subject for today, in the words of Jerry Seinfeld. So what's the deal with Memo? What's the deal with Memo? You know, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it, and I've seen memos allow jewelers to start their stores with very little money. I've seen Memo sit in people's stores forever and weigh down all of their metrics. And Kyle, you and I do we have a love-hate relationship with Memo? And folks, if you don't know what Memo is, it's memorandum stuff, memorandum inventory that is given by, is it given? I don't know if I want to say the word given, but it's given by the vendor.
Supplied to you by the vendor.
Supplied to you by the vendor, oftentimes with the caveat of you buy this much, we'll give you this much Memo, right? And then you pay as you go, kind of thing. You pay it as you sell it. So, Kyle, I sprung this one on you, but I know you could go for hours on this. Memo, good or bad?
Memo is a tool. It's like how you set it up. It's like, is it good or is it bad? What are your feelings on it? It's like looking at a toolbox and you have a hammer and you go, do you like a hammer? And then you go, yeah, I guess. I mean, for hammering things. Do I like a hammer for using it on screws? No, that wouldn't be great. Would I want to use a hammer to spread spackle on a wall? No, that'd be crazy, right?
Right.
The tool dictates some of its purpose, and you can use it for multiple purposes, but there are some things it's totally the wrong thing for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Memo. Memo has some really great purposes. Often, very, very often, it's like a hammer being used to spread spackle in a company. It's just being used all wrong. And and it's bizarre. Some jewelers' relationship with Memo,
Right,
because they kind of protect it. They kind of get defensive of it, and I don't. I'm not defensive of Memo at all. But it's a tool. So
yeah.
I guess
Let's start with the bad. From the standpoint of one of the things that I think about when I think about Memo is, oh, I got that from my vendor 3 years ago. I don't have to pay for that. And you know what? Makes my showcases look nice and full. So I'm not going to really worry about it. Okay. So is the word neglected or forgotten about Memo? Let's talk about why that's bad.
I mean, okay, so look, fundamentally is if you get Memo, or even let's expand this to consignment. If you're a store listening to this and you do some kind of a consignment with a customer or with a vendor of some sort, what's so bad about that? You could say, well, I have free product on my shelf, right? It's great. The first thing I would say is, number one, it's not yours. It's somebody else's stuff, right?
Right.
And to back up even more, one of the first lessons I try to tell employees who work with us within our companies is, when you interact with vendors, suppliers, or anybody giving you merchandise or calling you, or business to business transaction, everybody is selling you something. Everybody.
all
They
the time.
all are in it to sell you something. They are not, you're doing it because they are friendly. They are not doing it because they want to be your buddy. Some of them in your lifetime, you may have a handful, and I do mean a handful of people that may become your friends,
Yeah.
but they're all selling you something.
But
The best
Kyle,
thing
they
you
just
can,
took me out for an amazing steak dinner and wine I could never afford by myself, and a restaurant that took months to get a
yeah,
reservation in.
and they paid
And
on the
we
company credit
ate
card.
all night.
It was a
Yeah, yeah.
write-off. And that's what Memo is, guys. I mean, Memo or even consignment is somebody else who's selling you something. They
Hmm.
want to use you to sell their stuff because it makes them a profit. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So defending the merchandise, defending the stuff that's been on the shelf. I've had that consignment on my shelf for 2 or 3 years. Why are you defending it? It's not yours. It's
Right.
somebody else's.
Yeah.
And when you have the piece that you don't own in your company, you get to pay insurance on that. Hopefully you
Yep.
are having you're insured, and you get to pay insurance coverage on it and floor
Yep.
space for it, and you have to pay people to put it out, clean it up, service it. If you do sell it, you have to pay for all the services that go alongside it. So all these things that you have to pay for it, and it's somebody else's stuff, not yours.
Yeah.
So
And
don't
let me
ever
ask you
forget
this.
someone else is making money off of you.
Are you
And that's
paying a
okay.
premium? Are you paying a premium for that free rental?
Yeah. And I would classify that there's two kinds of memo in
Okay.
general, or even consignment. There's two kinds. One is one is stuff that is old and aged with the vendor, with the
Hmm.
supplier, whoever, and they just want to get
Right.
rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
In
And
your
so
store.
it's in your store. So from the get-go, you're getting memo that's old, aged,
Hmm.
uninteresting. It didn't sell with them. Why would
Yeah.
it sell with you? So maybe it has a good price associated with it and it's on memo, but it's old merchandise. So it's
Yeah.
not really that viable from the moment it landed in your store. The second kind of memo is stuff that you would see from the regular line, good selling stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you got to ask yourself, if this stuff is so good, if it's such a good seller for this company, why would they let me have it for free? If it's
Exactly.
if it's a fast seller, then they would just be selling it all the time and invoicing people. Why would they
Right.
give me the luxury of getting to hold on to it for free and I get
Yeah.
to pay for it when it sells? That's because it's either not actually a fast seller from the company or there's a premium associated with it. They're going to
Hmm.
give it to you so that if you sell it, they will make 5% or 10% more than if they
Hmm.
just had negotiated a straight invoice deal for it.
Okay.
And if it is a fast seller and you're invoicing for it and you can get a little extra discount, in the long run, that makes a whole lot more sense to you. It might actually for the company because of
Yeah.
those reorders. But if they're letting you have really good merchandise for free, then you got to ask yourself, is it actually that good? There is a third kind of memo, and it's very rare. Okay. And then you have to treat it a little different. And it's going to be particularly for high end stuff, but it's one off, custom,
Sure.
estate. You'll never see this anywhere else kind of a
Right.
thing. And
Right.
it has to be, in those cases, it genuinely is unique, one of a kind. There's nothing like it. It's for that one customer who's very special, very unique. A 4 carat sapphire and an 18 carat white gold pendant with
Sure.
VS diamonds and pears all around. You'll never
Yeah.
see it anywhere else. And you might be the client for this vendor who will sell it to somebody, in which case they'll memo it to you because it's worth a huge price tag. That's a
Sure.
third kind, and that's a little bit different, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And I've done that before. I've done that before.
But
But
that well,
okay.
you asked me what makes it why is it so bad? Because you're either getting old stuff that you didn't want, you're getting stuff that you should want and you should buy, but you're getting it at a premium, and you're taking on somebody else the liability of someone else's stuff to sit on your store shelf. And the fourth thing I would say is that if you actually are showing off a lot of memo, you also have your own inventory,
Right.
right?
That
Stuff
you're
you've
not
already paid
showing
for.
off. Yeah.
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 And it's aging on the shelf. So if you have half a case of memo and half of a case of owned, and everything had an even shot to sell, 50-50 odds are you will sell the memo first, right?
Right.
And then
50-50.
it
Yep.
keeps all the stuff you've already paid for over here. You may still owe on it. Oh, and by the way, now I have to invoice the memo. So now I got to
Right.
pay that and use the profit to pay all the stuff I already own for.
Sure. Sure.
So it can really jam up cash flows. And the most insidious thing of all, and you and I get this a lot from jewelers, is jewelers start to think that this is a benefit to them and they can't live without Memo. And why would on earth would I send it back? It's free. What's the worst thing that it could be doing for me?
Exactly.
It's a
There's a lot
malignant
of
growth.
worse. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I
All right.
soapbox.
Okay.
I interrupted a lot, but take it
All
away,
right. So
Jimmy.
I want to talk about its effects on sales. I want to talk about its effects on your sales team. But next, the question I have for you is, let's talk, and I know the answer to this because I see it with the clients that we work with. Let's talk about its effect on our books.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how ugly it makes our books look, especially in the case of it's been here 3-4 years, and right, you and I do not like jewelry with anniversaries. But let's talk. So let's talk about its effect on our books and our
Yeah.
business and our cash flow.
Take your inventory turn and divide it by half. Okay. So if you have a one-time turn,
Yeah.
you turn all your merchandise once a year. So the fast seller is sold once a year. Half of that is 6 months. Memo that turns 6 months and older is dead to me.
Hmm.
Dead to me. In jewelry stores, that's generally the term. That's generally the amount of time I would suggest that you keep a memo.
Right.
Anything
So
after that,
you're not saying Memo don't do it. You're saying Memo for specific reasons. And okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
you can keep it on yourself for 6 months,
Yeah.
maybe 8, maybe if it's
All
something
right.
special. But after that, it completely is useless.
Yep.
And that's because when we get to the good parts of Memo, I'll tell you why I think it's a great tool.
All right.
But no matter what you're doing, whether it's consignment, maybe you do consignment or estate stuff from your customers, the term that you should give that piece on the shelf, and you tell the clients this up front, you say, I will keep it for this amount of time. It's half of your inventory turn. So whatever your average store turn, it's half of that.
Okay.
Because it should go quickly. You ask the effect that it has on your books is that when you have a huge glut of stuff that's been hanging out on the store shelves for a long time and you're not trying to get rid of it, it has a couple of issues with cash flow. One is one I've already alluded to. One is you've owned and you've purchased all that other stuff on the shelf. You
Hmm.
don't own and purchase this. So when you sell this memo, this consignment, you have to pay for it then.
Right.
So you get to pay for it then, and the profit that you get from that sale, more than likely, you'll end up having to pay for all the other product on your shelf. So you're using the sale of a product to buy some other product. And this is where jewelry stores and small businesses, they go, well, I don't know where all the money, I'm not taking home a profit every quarter, every month.
Hmm.
Where's all the cash going? Well, this could be one of the culprits. It's a very, very, very common culprit.
Right.
And people just don't understand until you see it that that can be the malignant tumor that's sucking up all of the cash flow. When you sell Memo, you have to be invoiced then for it, and very often that means that you didn't sell something that you currently own,
Right.
and you may have to
Right.
still pay terms on, right?
Yeah. Now, if you sell it, is it common practice for them to ship a replacement, or is
Some
it?
places do. Some
Okay.
places do, some places don't, right? I mean,
All
it,
right.
it just varies. It varies and depends. When we get to the good parts of Memo, I'll give everyone a practice on how to use that part of the tool effectively.
Yeah. All right.
But it sucks up your books quietly and sinisterly
Yeah.
because again, you're housing someone else's goods.
Right.
Ultimately, this is going to segue into something I think that you can speak towards on sales, which is the other way that it kills your cash flow is that it's all in your case. So half your store is full of jewelry or furniture or whatever that you have on consignment. But the other half is stuff that you own. So you can describe to folks, Jimmy, what that does in terms of sales. When a salesperson is selling a memo, that often doesn't get to have as strong of a markup as the rest of the stuff in the store. I mean, what is that? There's a hidden competition going on. You can describe it
Sure,
maybe. The
sure.
salesperson, think,
I
I'm competing against my own products.
Well, and honestly, I'm overwhelmed with the thought of this one particular store that you and I had some interaction with, and it was regarding dated merchandise. And I look at it the same way as dated merchandise. And you said it earlier. They're putting that stuff out every morning. They're packing it up every night. They're looking at it. The fizzle and sizzle and vitality of that piece is gone. It's gone and it's boring. And so what that does mentally to your sales team is just they're not excited about stuff anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And the jeweler that we were talking about has, you know, couple inch thick herringbone stuff, you know, that nobody's buying that except gold buyers for scrap and making a lot of money, by the way, you know what I mean? Um, and so just the effect that it has on your team. Whereas you go to the show, you look at this amazing line, you're all buying into it, and you're like, okay, we've got this much money at the show. By the way, show season is coming up. So this is what I would always do. I would always give a percentage of my open to buy to my team saying, go find something in this category that you guys are fired up about. And the three girls would run off and they would find it and they'd get excited. And voila, new line. They felt responsible. They had buy-in. But the memo, who's excited about that? Nobody's. So staff excitement is, I guess, how I would address that, or lack of excitement.
You don't want to war with your own products, and you don't want your staff to be, if they're vaguely aware of Memo versus own stuff, you don't want
Hmm.
them to be less excited about it,
Right.
right? There's so many things
But if they are excited about it, I want them excited about the stuff we own.
exactly. I paid for it already. I would love for that to sell
Yes,
first, right? There,
exactly.
I could wax poetic about just how much it sounds like I have a disdain for Memo, and I don't. I don't, because I want to talk about the good parts of it. Um,
Hmm.
all the things I've described, all of my ire comes from the original analogy of a hammer being used for a job that a hammer is not supposed to be used for. Okay.
Right.
You don't
Yeah.
use a hammer for fine detail work. And as the saying goes, if all you have is a hammer, then everything's a nail. And as I mentioned at the top, there are companies that get off the ground, retail stores that get off the ground because someone has sent them a lot of memo.
Yep.
Very, very common and a totally awesome thing. There is also something insidious about that. I don't mean this by insidious, that's maybe a strong word, thinking that people are being manipulated, maybe. But it can also have you, as a retailer, pledge allegiance to a line or a company because they helped you out.
Hmm.
But if it's not performing well, you'll go, I'll stick around with them because they helped me when I was in a pinch.
Right. Right.
Remember, I told you everyone is selling something.
Right.
Everybody, right?
Yeah.
So the jewelry you have, the furniture you have, is just asset on in your account. It is an
Hmm.
investment. If
Right.
you can't, you have to be cold and exacting with your investments. If you get personal with it and you get emotional with it, it will take you out and hurt you something fierce
Yeah.
because you gotta get real. It's numbers on a page. If it's not turning, it's not giving you profit, it's not putting dollars in the bank, don't anchor yourself to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, that's why I don't like Memo. That's when it can be used improperly. And I would say, because of our experience, most of the time when we see a Memo in a store, it's not being used for the right
Right. Right.
purposes, and
Yeah.
they're painting with a hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll my 2 cents on the negative is I don't like it if it's for complacency. I don't like it if it's shelf filler stuff,
Hmm.
case filler stuff, right? And it's the set it and forget it stuff. And yeah, but like I said earlier, he took me out for a great steak dinner, gave me this memo, and then we always find out how great of friends they are when we send all the memo back.
Right.
Right? All right.
Right.
And
Hmm.
really how great of a vendor they are and wonderful. But okay, now it's also a blessing. Okay, so let's talk about the good of Memo. And I'll start out with the thing is I know a jeweler that we work with that helped her get her store off the ground. It filled her cases, and
Yeah,
that was a good thing.
it was. And that can
Yeah.
be a great one of the great uses of Memo. You got to get stuff in the shelf when you're starting out because when you're starting out, you're understocked, right?
Right.
You have zero.
Right. Yeah.
So that can
By the
be a
way,
use.
also, everybody go to YouTube and go to Train Retail, type in Kyle Bullock and type in Tiffany's or whatever. Just you'll find it. We just posted it this morning. It's a video on the 357 rule of what how Tiffany's displays their jewelry. Amazing. Amazing, amazing insight. Thank you, Kyle, for doing this. And it's hopefully we can get away from the chock full showcases of nothing that looks special. So sorry for the segue. I don't know if there's a segue. Maybe there's a rabbit hole, but keep going.
Yeah. All right. So other good uses of Memo.
Yeah.
Um, that one you described is a rare one, but it's a good one. The ones that I think are most common and most valuable, the first is to find and mine for fast sellers. When you work with a vendor or a supplier, um, there's some things we might call in your industry bread and butter.
Yep.
The lazy boy recliner style, you gotta have one if you're a furniture store.
Yep.
Or if you're a jewelry store, you gotta have Tiffany style solitaires and diamond pans, right?
Sure.
Everybody's
And
got
diamond
them,
studs and diamonds.
studs.
Yeah.
So those types of things that are bread and butter, I like to tell people you should buy that. That should be asset. You shouldn't have Memo that is your bread and butter because you know that it's going to sell and be regular and fast seller. Remember what I said earlier. When you buy things for asset, you can often, if not almost always, get a better price for it. So
Hmm.
why put a fast selling bread and butter thing in your cases on consignment for more money? Just pay for it because you know it's going to sell, right?
Right. Yep.
Buy that stuff first.
It's
And
the
if you have
2% milk. It's the bread and the butter.
Yeah. If a customer came
Great
in and
analogy.
wanted to give you a solitaire diamond ring for a consignment, it's just a solitaire 1 carat diamond ring. I wouldn't probably give great terms on that, if at all. Honestly, I would just say offer them a low amount of money because
Yeah.
that's bread and butter. That's
Take the
you can
discount.
buy that cheaply. Yeah,
Yep.
I wouldn't say cheaply, but you can buy it for less wholesale.
Right. Yep.
So one of the uses of Memo is that when you're working with a company that is giving you asset, you're supplying good and bread and butter stuff, they may also have other parts of the line that are interesting, maybe different
Hmm.
styles that you
Yep.
haven't tried before.
Yeah.
Some
Outside your
fashion
purview.
pieces.
Outside. Yeah.
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 So you're looking for two things with Memo. One, you're looking for styles that you wouldn't normally try, but it's worth trying
Yep.
on Memo. I want to see if this style will resonate. The other great use of Memo is for higher price points. Don't give me your cheap end stuff. That's easy for me to buy. I can buy it for
Hmm.
less. But if I've never had a 10 or 15 or $20,000 piece in my store, I would like to get that on Memo. I will teach
Yeah.
people in our one-on-ones. I would rather you get, if you were going to be given a $15,000 memo from the company, I would rather you get 2 or 3 pieces of
Yeah.
high-end jewelry
Then a bunch.
than 20
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
day, every day. Because you're gonna fill really high-end price points that you don't want to shell out the cash for. You've never really sold it before. Maybe it's
Sure.
not being sold frequently, but maybe it's because you don't have it.
Yeah.
And this is a easy way for you to test. Will this company be a company that I can grow with in a different design or with a higher end price point?
Hmm.
That is a fantastic use of Memo. When something sells from the Memo line within a short period of time, remember I said give it 6 months because
Hmm.
after 6 months, it's not a fast seller anymore. in
Right.
jewelry at least. But give it at least half the time, half the speed of your turn. After that, it's no longer a fast seller. Because remember, we're mining for fast sellers. So once it does sell, then buy the piece on asset because you know it's a
Hmm.
fast seller.
Yeah.
Then replace the memo with another piece that you want to try out.
Sure.
So in this way, Memo becomes this artistic palette of things. I'm going to go out there and try things I wouldn't normally try
Yeah.
because I want to see if I can grow the business in new ways. And it's a relatively low cost way of doing it.
Yeah. And I hope
That's
you
my
have a
favorite.
good, I hope you have a great account manager for whatever vendor you're dealing with in that case, where you're not just a number, you're not just somebody they're dishing crap out to that has had anniversaries at other stores, right? You got a good vendor. Hey, they're going to work with you on that. They're going to, oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's try this piece next, and that's exciting. Then
It is.
then I'll take the steak dinner and right, but they're working for it, and that's awesome.
I hope that there's suppliers out there who are listening to this. Because
Yeah,
if you're
yeah, let's
listening to
talk to
this,
them.
here's what I want you to hear. Please, and there's a couple companies that I can think of that do use Memo for the purposes I just said.
Yeah.
And they are growing accounts because they're using it properly. They're growing it to help people discover new styles, and they're using it to help people discover higher end pieces that they wouldn't normally have. Here's my things to you vendors out there. Please don't do these 7-day memos. 7-day memos are not real memos. They are show and tells. I'm bringing this in to show someone and tell them about it and hopefully sell them about it. That's not long-term consignment, okay? Please use your memos to help retailers discover new pieces they wouldn't normally. So help them buy the bread and butter and then give them memo and use your train your salespeople, B2B, to say, listen, this is new and exciting. I know it may be outside your comfort zone. Please let me give it to you for 6 months on memo. You sell it, great. If
Hmm.
not, send it back. Okay?
Yeah.
And help them push their average retails up. Look at your accounts and what they've bought, find something in a higher price point that they haven't bought, and try to get them to get that on memo.
Yep.
Because what if they start selling those things and now you can get them to reorder them
Oh
and you're
darn.
like that's a win-win for memo. Please,
Yeah.
vendors, please don't give us your junk. And if you do,
Right.
and I totally understand if you do, because you got to get rid of it too.
Yep.
Please do it at a huge discount and let us know that it's a discount and let it be a real discount, or else we have no hope of ever actually selling
Right.
old stuff. Just be
Right.
honest. If it's old and you want to send us your old stuff,
Yep.
just tell us that.
Yeah.
Please. All right.
And that's okay. That is, as long as we
Yes.
know what color to paint the horse. I don't know
Right.
if that's a term. I just made that up. But you said something really important there that I've rarely, if ever, gotten in my store, and that is, we're going to send you this amazing thing to try because I want to push the market in Wausau, Wisconsin, for example. I want to push that market a little bit and see if you guys can deliver on this. But it is the webinar or the phone call or the in-person training. Hey guys, I just want you to, this is a trial, but here's how to push this a little bit because I love the idea of increasing price points. We'd all love that, right? But when we fall into the monotony of the day to day, our customers wouldn't. We also hear that word a lot. Our customers would never, blah, blah, blah. But it's, you know what? It's probably because it's not in the showcase, right?
Yeah. Right.
So if you're going to do this, it's obviously something special. And so let's do a little training on it. Let's do a little talking about it. We just did an exercise this morning that you inspired, and that's show us your favorite piece in the store and talk about it. Tell me why it's your favorite piece. And Hannah was amazing. You know what she said? I love these drop earrings. They're so gorgeous. They're all pave set and the beautiful diamond shape, and it's gorgeous. I call them my chandelier rings. I'm like,
Ah,
oh
this is
gosh,
good.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And then Jennifer said, "I love this ring because it's not linearly set. All the diamonds are kind of askew, and I feel it looks a little broken, like me, beautifully broken. So I call this my beautifully broken ring." I'm like, we are talking gold here, people. So these are the kinds of stories and excitement that can go with that new memo coming into your store. Okay, I'm
There's a
done preaching.
excuse me, a vendor. I don't know if you're listening to this. And if you are listening to this in Dallas, I hope you know who you are. And you have these most incredible color pieces that are absolutely astounding. I would love to have them, but I don't want them for 7 days. I want them for 6 months.
Hmm.
And I'll drop ship them if you need them. But oh my gosh, they're so beautiful and they're so
Yeah,
gorgeous. And what I want is for my team to get to play with them for 6 months and come up with the stories you described
yeah,
so that we can
yeah.
get people excited. But I can't buy them because we don't sell a lot of colors. So you know who you
Right.
are. You're listening to this, and I'm using this platform for my own selfish purposes. Please let me have them for 6 months. They're so pretty. But look, Memo is not free. It's not free for vendors. It's not
Right.
free for retailers. It ain't free. There are
Right.
costs associated with insuring, shipping, maintaining, securing, selling. It is a low cost. And when we use it for these exploratory purposes, that's what that tool is used for.
Yeah.
Or, as I once alluded to, it's if you have a vendor sending you old stuff and it is actually priced that way, it's a great way for a trunk show to take place.
Hmm.
Have a blowout section
Sure.
if you are going to do that. We had a
Or include it with
request
your
asked
inventory
us about that.
reductions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to use it.
Yeah.
And the third great way to use it is for high-end, one-of-a-kind pieces. And there are
Hmm.
still a handful of those old school guys doing that who will
Right.
give you, I
Yep.
can call a couple of guys I know, and they'll send me a 5 carat to have on
Yep.
hand, you name or a 20 carat Riviera necklace,
Yeah.
and we'll see how it goes, right? But we have
Yep.
built a great relationship. That's the third great way to use Memo.
Right.
Um,
But and also there's a caveat in that I think everybody probably knows this already, but I'm going to state the obvious, and that is, in effect, they're acting like a bank. Okay, so
oh yeah.
they've got to have this uh, paid for and produced by themselves, and enough to send. They might have 400 accounts. Okay, so in essence, if they're doing that, they're they're being your bank in a way, and so you have to be responsible and honor that and pay those invoices when you sell those pieces. And when you are selling those pieces, be diligent about knowing what SKUs are working and fast sellers so that you can turn them from memo to owned merchandise. But it's going to take some patience, diligence, and discipline on your part to take care of that, to work that memo. Okay, sorry.
Look,
Am I right on that though?
absolutely. Look,
All right.
I can get into this all day and talk all day, but we probably got to wrap this podcast up.
Yeah, I know.
Um, and
But I tell you what, those that are listening to it are liking it, so we could probably talk for 2 more hours, but we won't.
how
We won't.
about this? One of the best things that one of the greatest successes we have when we first start working one-on-one with a jewelry store is by examining the memo and getting really real with it for a moment.
Yeah.
We've seen tremendous success in the companies that we've worked with when we take a look at it, we assess it with them and give them a real strategy for how to explore new inventory and get rid of old stuff. And
Yeah.
Jimmy, you can attest, we've seen one company lower their old stock by over $100,000 and their turn went up. Their
Yep.
overall store turn went up,
Yeah.
what, another 10-15% overnight
Yeah.
because we were able to tweak on this a little bit. All
And
that,
by the way, they're freaking out as they're emptying out the showcases. And
yeah,
then they re-merchandise the showcases, and now they're pumped and they're excited, because they did the 357 rule that you're talking about in your video that everybody should go to and watch. Um, so yeah, yeah. So I mean, we see
it's,
instant success.
it's a domino effect because it's going to lead to one thing after another of how you can help your business. it's a plug for, yes, we want to work with people. We want to work with jewelers one-on-one to help them grow their people and their profits for a greater purpose that they have inside of them, and help their businesses have greater purpose in their communities.
Yeah.
This is one tool in a big tool bag that we use that often gets abused.
Yeah.
And so if you have Memo in your company and you just go, after this podcast, am I really using it well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give us a call. We will give you the first meeting free. We'll give you an assessment. You just say, here's what I got. What do you think? And we'll tell you, hey, you're painting with a hammer right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Well, okay. Hey, Kyle, I want to just let me do the shameless plug here for a second. This is not a shameless plug as much as it is an observation, in that you and I often see a coming alongside of the jeweler that needs help with one area of another. And a lot of times that's many areas. And the feedback that we often get, whether said verbally or in body language, is, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have another person to talk to about this, or another person to have an eye on this. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I was down at a jeweler the other day, and the owner was working on some really high price special orders, and I was working on website stuff and helping them with some social media videos and some other things, and I was just sitting there thinking, how in that, pardon my expression, how in the hell would people have the time and energy to deal with all of this? Okay, so that's one of the things I love about working with you, and what we're doing is we can come alongside you and put that either arm on your shoulder or lift you up a little bit and say, oh, well, here's a couple things. And then in some cases, we'll do it for you. In some cases, we just tell you what to do. So, it's kind of like I found my new niche in life, coming alongside people. So
we'll do this, Jimmy. While we wrap this up, tell the good people how they can reach out to us, and then have a great
yeah,
week.
I just worked on the website. Go to trainretail.com, or just email us, or even in the comments in the video here of the podcast. There's a million ways to get a hold of us, but it's Jimmy at Train Retail, Kyle at trainretail.com. And just tell us what's going on in your world. And don't worry, we're not going to give you a big sales pitch. And as a matter of fact, we had a couple instances recently where we just said, you don't need us. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Every conversation helps. So you can reach out to us, go to trainretail.com. And the first thing you should do is first keep watching listening to these podcasts. Next thing you should do is you should start training your people once a week. So subscribe to the video program. It's only $99 a month. It's a sales training program for your team. Kyle's got an amazing management tool in there, management videos, and that's just subscriptions. But if you want this right here, this mano-a-mano kind of thing going on, just let us know. We have an exciting new program. We're not going to unveil it until after the RJO show coming up, but we're going to tell them about what our new program is. So that'll be at the time, and that's going to be that little menu item that you're like, oh, but I wish they did this. Well, now it's going to be that. So, all right, hey. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you. Sitting there listening so quietly and patiently. You haven't interrupted us once. What a great audience.
You're the nicest.
Great audience, Kyle. All right. So this is the week we're going to Chicago. So our next podcast may be in person at the show in Chicago. That might be a little fun. All right. Hey, over and out. See you guys.
Bye.